I'm so pleased to share more about the charging projects this investment is supporting. Through NRCan's Zero Emission Vehicle Program, along with investments from the City of Toronto totaling more than $6.5 million, the program is helping support the installation of 411 chargers at municipal sites, including 42 fast chargers. This is the kind of climate action investment from multiple levels of government that we need, and we are so excited in what we can achieve together. Toronto has ambitious plans to be net zero, and we're so very lucky to have a federal government that also has ambitious plans. Thank you again to Natural Resource Canada for your partnership. We look forward to working together to achieve a low carbon and electric future.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for your excellent remarks. I'll also say to you that the federal government has had a wonderful relationship with the City of Toronto. We've managed to make some transformational investments in housing, in public transit, including bike infrastructure, and now we are also going to be making some more investments on net zero and anything to do with electric vehicles and chargers. So we want to thank you for your excellent partnership. And I know that we have many more announcements in the days, weeks, and years to come. And now it's my absolute pleasure to introduce someone who I was listening to on the radio this morning talk about stolen vehicles. And so I was listening to his good advice and I think some very helpful and thoughtful comments as well. And so I want to say a warm welcome to Mayor Patrick Brown, who's come here all the way from Brampton, and we're delighted to have you here with us, please.
Well, thank you, Julie. It's great to be here for this wonderful announcement. I want to say, first of all, that we're grateful in the City of Brampton to have a terrific partner in the Government of Canada in tackling climate change. Climate change is man-made, it's real, and we have to do our part. And you can't talk about climate change and then say you take it seriously and then not follow up with action. And this is an example of action. And I have to say, in the City of Brampton, we've been very fortunate to have a really successful relationship on our climate change plan in the City of Brampton. Our first recreation facility in the city just became net zero with a federal grant. We're going to become the first city in Canada to have a fully electrified transit fleet, thanks to a partnership with the Canada Infrastructure Bank. And now to have this significant investment in electric charging capacity is another step for us to realize our ambitions on dealing with the adversity of climate change. And I want to thank MP Shafkat Ali, who has been a hardworking MP, who I know brings up our concerns in Ottawa. And so Shafkat, thank you for your friendship and support and dedication to the City of Brampton. It certainly doesn't go unnoticed. And Shafkat mentioned the Stellantis plant. You know, I think of all the things happening right now, it's an exciting time for Canada. It's an exciting time for Brampton in being leaders on climate change. The Stellantis investment in Brampton's facility, auto facility, and in Windsor's auto facility will make us one of the largest producers of electric vehicles starting in 2025. So we're definitely going to need these chargers. So thank you for this support. Brampton will be receiving funding to build 176 level 2 and level 3 fast charge electric vehicle charging stations, along with associated underground infrastructure and utility upgrades. The EV charging stations will be installed and operational by December 2024. We start producing those new cars in 2025, so that's timely. I wanted to also note that this builds upon the 65 existing electric chargers we have. So when you think about there's a large announcement, and sometimes it's difficult to relate what the dollars mean to every neighborhood or the capacity of the community. To go from 65 and add 176 on top of that, that's big news for the city. And for those that are transforming their auto choices into electric vehicles, the first thing I get asked is, are you going to build the capacity to charge my car? And so this is a welcome news as we convince the public to look at these greener forms of transportation. So really today I just wanted to come to say thank you. thank you to the federal government for this great announcement, for the ongoing, very positive relationship we have in taking climate change seriously. And as I was driving here this morning, I was thinking of the fact that yesterday we passed our Region Appeal budget. And our Region Appeal budget, the last presentation was the conservation authorities. And we talked about some of the cost of extreme weather events, the cost of climate change. And everyone talks about the cost of climate change, but when you see examples, it just makes it more real. And we had this flooding last winter in Churchville, an historic neighborhood in Brampton, and the cost of the flooding was enormous. Right now, we're intensifying our downtown, and we have a partnership with the federal government on Riverwalk to deal with potential flooding. And so these adverse weather events have a huge economic cost on the city and the country. And that's why announcements like this are so important as we prepare for that reality. So on behalf of the City of Brampton, I want to thank our federal partners for this wonderful announcement today, and particularly to Shafqat Ali, who is a great champion for our city. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mayor Brown. I will tell you, one of the reasons I decided to run federally is because I really wanted a government that was going to take climate change seriously. And so we have a very clear agenda to reach net zero by 2050, but there's no way that we could reach net zero by 2050 if we don't have our city partners, if we don't have our provincial partners stepping up. So I want to say huge thanks to you for your net zero leadership in Brampton. So thank you. It's definitely an inspiring model for many other cities across the country. I'm a little jealous about the 176 charging stations you're getting. My riding of Davenport's only getting 20, and so I'm trying to negotiate with the next speaker to try to get a little bit more. And for those that don't know, there's, the Mayor Brown was mentioning that he's getting 176, I think it's level 2 and level 3. Chargers, and I'm only getting a level 2, and so I'm trying to negotiate with Alex as well that we sort of upgrade to level 3. With that, I want to turn it over to Alex Versluis from the YMCA of Greater Toronto. Alex.
Thank you very much. I'm Alex Versluis with the YMCA of Greater Toronto, and really appreciate you guys including us in this event today. The YMCA is a charity that focuses on health and well-being for our community, and we strive for our environmental sustainability and climate resilience to be a leader in this space. As an organization, since 2008, we've actually reduced our carbon footprint by 47%. And we continue to adapt our buildings to be more resilient to climate events and to welcome people into our buildings in days like today where it's really cold, and offer those spaces as warming places across our GTA. We cannot do this work without the support of all levels of government. City of Toronto has been a big supporter for our downtown sites, mitigating a lot of our impact, as well as our regional partners, Region of Peel and York. We do a lot of work with both climate mitigation as well as resilience, supporting our local community members. Many people know the Y as our health and fitness centers. We have 11 of those across the GTA where we have our pools and gyms. Many people know it's our childcare centers. We have over 400 of those across the GTA. We're actually one of the largest providers in Canada for not-for-profits for childcare. Many people generally know our camps, our employment centers, our newcomers and immigration support centers, as well as our shelters and transition houses. And all of these services combined help us to help bring social services and supportive help to these communities in a way that's both helpful, resilient, and in a climate-aware manner. What many people don't realize is that we've been a charity for 170 years this year. We were founded in 1853 before there was even a car that existed. So it's kind of interesting when we look back on our history, we've been a very active transportation proponent right from the horse that pulled up to the front of our buildings, tied to our buildings, and where we offered water and feed. So we've gone from active transportation of horses to carriages to the cars to finally we get to have these amazing electric vehicle chargers, which is for us, much simpler. It's literally a plug and play where people can plug in and then come to the Y and play. And none of that can be done without the support of this federal partner. NRCan has been incredibly supportive of our new development projects, from not only just electric vehicle charging, but a lot of the other planning work we've been doing to reduce our carbon footprint, looking at geothermal, all types of new development supports, as well as other federal government support along the way. So partners at all levels, we really appreciate your support, and thank you so much for including us in this amazing event.
Wow, 170 years. Thanks so much, Alex. You know, we're really very blessed to have organizations like the YMCA, and I know we have one in Davenport down at Dovercourt and College, so we're very blessed to have them participate in so many different aspects. And I'm glad that they're also playing a key leadership role also in moving us towards net zero. So thank you for that. It's only with organizations like YMCA that we'll continue to have inclusive, sustainable, prosperous communities like what we have in the City of Toronto today. So I think with that, that concludes the announcement portion of the event. So I want to thank again my colleagues Jean Yip and Shafqat Ali for joining us today, and Deputy Mayor Jennifer McKelvie and Mayor Patrick Brown and Alex for joining us. Thank you so much. Now we're going to open up the floor to any questions from the media, and I think Oriana is going to be stepping up here and seeing if there's any question and managing that from here. Thanks so much.
Thank you, MP Julie Dzerowicz. We'll now open the floor to questions. To give a chance to participate, please limit your questions to one question and one follow-up. Please begin your question by identifying yourself and name the media outlet you represent.
Hi, Tina, great to see you. You recognize me. Okay, question is C21. I don't know who can answer this. C21 amendments have been created with much backlash. How will you get this bill passed? What's your plan? And also in French, if possible. Anybody willing to take that question? Oh, that's a federal one. Okay.
So I'm sorry. Hello. I don't have many answers for you, and unfortunately, I should have mentioned this at the forefront. Minister Mendocino, who was going to headline this event today, unfortunately had a last-minute scheduling conflict and wasn't able to meet us. Minister Mendocino has been traveling the country and meeting with stakeholders across the country to talk about C21 and to make sure he's hearing firsthand from those in rural Canada, from hunters, from people who use guns for sport, and he's been asking for feedback and input into the legislation. So we're listening very closely. We're taking into consideration the comments that are coming from various stakeholders across the country, and we will be using those comments to make adjustments to C21. I will tell you, C21 is all about creating a safer Canada, getting guns off of our streets, and reducing gun violence. And I'd say to you, it is not about those who are using guns in our rural communities, in Indigenous communities who need it for their livelihoods. It's not about in any way interfering with their right to do so and their enjoyment to do so. Thank you. And I'm sorry I'm not able to say that in French. Je parle très mal en français.
Next question. Okay. Okay, so I guess this is the time we have for today. This concludes today's event, and thank you for joining us.